Hello everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Naki and this is Cook with Naki. I hope everyone is doing well. On today's menu we are making chicken light soup. Really tasty and easy to make. Let's get started. I have here one large onion, scotch bonnet pepper, ginger root and some garlic cloves. I blended all this together and I'm going to use this to season my chicken. And this is my hard chicken. You could use soft chicken if you cannot find hard chicken around you, but just make sure you don't overcook it, otherwise it's gonna tear apart. So after adding my blended onion, garlic, ginger, and scotch bonnet pepper, I'm adding my chicken seasoning. Use any seasoning of your choice, and yeah, I'm adding a little bit of salt to taste. I cover this, and I'm gonna let this cook. While my chicken is cooking, these are the vegetables I'm going to use to make my light soup. I have carrots, fresh tomatoes, scotch bonnet pepper, and onion. If you haven't used carrot to make your light soup before, try it. You're going to love it. Carrot has this kind of sweetness to it, so it brings a lot of flavor and makes your soup really, really tasteful. I love it. Just give it a try if you haven't used carrot to make light soup before. I'm checking on my chicken right now. This has been cooking for about 20 minutes now. As you can see, it started to like fry a little bit. Some of them, yeah, you can see that part like a little bit brownish. And I'm adding some tomato paste. This is just like 1 teaspoon, heap teaspoon, just for the color of it. And I'm adding some water. Since the chicken is hard chicken, it took a lot of time to cook, and I wanted it to be a little bit tender before adding my vegetables because I didn't want to like cook through when I add my vegetables because the vegetables is already cooked, so I didn't like want to overcook it. So I wanted the chicken to be a little bit tender before adding my blended vegetable to it. And you can see my vegetables are ready. I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna blend it, and we're gonna be adding it to our chicken in a minute. Chicken have been cooking for additional 20 minutes, so in all about 45 minutes now, and it's looking good already. This part reminds me of Sweet Ajele. Yes, anytime she's making soups and they get to this part, she'll tell you you gotta fry it so it's like stew texture because it brings a lot of flavor, and I bet you if she was right. It was really, really tasteful making it this way. I didn't plan to make it this way, it just happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how Sweet Ajele makes her soup, and it was so good. And yeah, I'm adding my blended vegetable to the soup right now, and I'm straining it. Usually I'll just pour everything in, but this time I just wanted a little bit, not too light, not too thick, and that's why I'm straining it. But if I want it a little bit thicker, I'll just like pour everything in. But this was a little bit more, so if I had to pour all this vegetable in, it's gonna be too thick for me, and I didn't want that. So that's why I'm straining it, and yeah, it was perfect the way I wanted it. But if you want it really, really light, then do this one and add more water to it. And this is how the texture is looking, but trust me, I'm gonna add more water to it because as it cooks, it's gonna be thicker and thicker. Okay, so it all depends on how you want your light soup. At this point, I'm just adding my fresh mackerel to it. This is optional. If you don't like fish, you don't have to. And if you do, you could add any fish of your choice. I love the mackerel and I'm adding it to it. But if you don't like mackerel, any kind of fish, just do not add it and just make your chicken light soup this way. And I added a little bit more water to it. Yeah, as I told you, the more it cooks, it's going to be a little bit thicker, so I added a little bit more water to it. I covered this halfway and I'm going to take it time to cook. And about 15 minutes later, our soup is looking really good. This is how it's looking. It's almost ready. I'm just giving it a little bit of stir. Make sure if you add fish to it, you don't over stir it. Otherwise, your fish is going to tear apart. I'm going to be adding this chopped ginger. This is fresh one. Yes, it gives it that flavor, and I like the freshness of the ginger. That's why I'm adding it at this point. But if you don't have to add it. And I tasted for salt, and I needed a little bit more. After adding the salt, everything was good. I'm just gonna give it an additional 5 to 7 minutes to cook, and our soup will be ready. And in about 10 minutes later, our light soup, our chicken light soup, it is ready. It was so good, really tasteful, and it's so easy to make. I had this with fufu. That's like the main side dish you could have your light soup with, and it was so good. You could still have it with your rice, your potato, with your yams, gari. Yes, anything that you prefer to have your light soup with. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching this recipe. I hope you loved it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Until I come your way next time, this is Cook with Naki. Be good to yourself, be good to everyone. Goes a long way.